regenerative nutrition. Step 2. Cleanse your body and regenerate damaged cells with our 5-day regenerative fasting plan. Get all the benefits of fasting without the agony of starving your body like most fasting diets. Step 3. Start taking your Thrive Custom Nutrition. Your Thrive Nutrition was created just for you and you alone, giving your body exactly what it needs for optimum health. 3 easy steps in just 90 days. Take the 90-day challenge and make 2019 your best year ever.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, this is Faith. Welcome to the Faith Washington Show. We will discuss life, business, leadership, family, and fun, and what happens when your view of the world expands. A wide variety of guests will provide insight on how they do business, family, and leadership in their lives. So now, here's today's show. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Faith Washington Show. I'm Faith Washington. I have a very special guest tonight. We are live on Facebook. We are live on WWNN, 1470 AM, 95.3 FM, and iHeartRadio app. Dawn Graubart is my lovely guest tonight. She is one of the producers here at the studio, and we're actually really good friends.
Gotta love what we do, right?
We love what we do. We have so much fun, and more fun to come. But Dawn has agreed to come on this evening, and we're going to talk about something that I talked about on the Brooklyn Cafe this week when she was out with her son, and we discussed female entrepreneurs. So Reba, Ann, and Dawn, hopefully you guys will watch. I had such a nice time with the three of you on the show, and Kevin Abbott from
Barrel of Monks.
Barrel of Monks. So it was just such a great day that day.
Yeah, I came in. You know what it's like when you go home and your kids have a party and they don't clean up?
Oh.
I went in today and my kids had a party and they didn't clean up, and I found half a cork. And I found an empty bottle of
Somebody's
stuff.
been drinking.
So,
Somebody's been drinking
thank
there.
you to Kevin at Barrel of Monks, but it was a great show. So thank you for filling in. My son was in the hospital and he's home, so
Thank God
you
he's
for filling in.
Yes, oh, my pleasure. It was really fun.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
What a treat to be on the other side.
Yeah, it's nice. So we're going to talk about female entrepreneurs, which I have a few things that I guess I asked the ladies on the show that day, and I'm just kind of curious. I have issues where I'll ask women entrepreneurs to come on the show. I send everybody a standard email, and it, describes everything that you need to do. Then show up an hour early, we talk, and there's an air fee, and I don't make anything from it. I do this for fun. This is my gig. And they either back out at the last minute or like shortly before, or there's something going on and they never even get started. And in fact, somehow or other, we were discussing this before the show, I kind of feel maybe there's a courage issue, or maybe there's some fear there, or maybe I'm not really sure what I'd love to hear what your take is on this. I know you and Freddie had some opinions, and I want to know.
There's so many different thoughts that roll around in my head, and I think for even as much as women are stepping into the power and empowerment, you're still the mom. You're still sometimes the primary caretaker. Dads too. We're not saying, but if you're the mom and you're taking your kids to school and you're running a business and you're the sports, sometimes there's still that double standard. The difference in gender roles, maybe, or is it more than a double standard? That I've got to get my kids here and there, and if the kids are sick, maybe it's mom who stays home. Right. There's many more layers that we have to deal with, and then we have our own guilt that we deal with.
Guilt.
Well, look what happened. My son got sick Tuesday.
Right.
He's 24. I thought, all right, you can handle this. You're 24.
Mm-hmm.
Go to urgent care. He's in law school. He's got a girlfriend, and he handled it.
Right.
And he didn't get better, and he handled it. And at 11 o'clock, he was at the ER, and he handled it. But at some point, mom says, where I never mess with the mom on a mission,
right.
The mom says, I got to go. And I woke up yesterday morning, and I said, I got to go see my son. Now, Chuck went with me, but he probably could have said, I could wait till 12. He could have said, I'll do work for half a day, and then I'll go.
Right.
I said, I got to go. Fortunately, I have a partner and great friends that fill in. But sometimes I think maybe that's part of it. And the other side is I think there's a lot of women that start their own businesses from home, or they rent
Well, of course,
the,
yeah.
the
if you're,
virtual
if you're
spaces.
Mom, yeah, if you're mom,
Right.
and that's the convenient way to do it, then you're not spending all this money for overhead. You know, it depends on what kind of business. And
That's
I,
what it is.
And I agree with that. I work from home because I love it. I mean, I just love being in my own
Or,
space.
you know, the virtual spaces, there's
Yeah.
attorneys and everyone
Right.
that job shares. It gives you the flexibility.
Right.
Maybe there's that difference between that and those women in corporate America. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you do a lot. You are very men heavy in your demographic. We ran your numbers before
Huge.
we came out.
Yeah, it's huge. So they could tell me, yes, but I get along well with guys because I just think very straightforward. I think from A to B. There's not a lot of circuitous thinking in there when it comes to business for me.
And
It's
I
kind
think
of like
men
boom.
are, they say A to B. I
Yeah.
invest this. This is my time. This is what I do.
Right.
I either like the return or I don't, but I'm going to take the chance. I got nothing to lose.
They take, you know something? Those words, that makes more sense with the mentality that I deal with. They're either hell yes or hell no. There's not a lot of in between. They're just like, yes, we're going to do it, or no.
It's
not
black
something
and
I'm-
white.
Not something I'm interested in.
It's black and white.
Yep.
We're going to sit as women and go, well, if I spend this, is it going to be my ROI? And then is it going to question, and should I put this back into the business, or should we spend so much time in our heads?
It's that circuitous thinking. It's the overthinking. That's what, that's kind of what I'm sort of thinking about here, is that there's some circuitry here. It's like just this jumbled mass of I don't know what.
And we create stress. We had Mary Lou Henner on today.
Okay.
And she says, you know what? Stress is going to kill us all. Stress is what increases Alzheimer's and dementia and neurological issues. You got to love your stress. She said, basically, love your stress, own your stress. Otherwise, it's going to kill you. But as women, at least for me, I can't talk for all women, we go round and around and around to the fact that I can feel my stomach getting upset. You know, we got a big gig tomorrow, and I go, oh, my God, I can just see
Nervous.
the anxiety building.
Right. But here's the thing, and this is something that I work with clients about. It's about telling yourself a different story about what it is that you're experiencing. So you can either consider it stress, a stressor, or you can consider it what it really is, excitement. Because you're excited about what you're about to do. You're not sure you can pull it off. That's where you think the anxiety comes in. You're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Throw it up against the wall. Just don't worry about it. Worry about it after the fact.
That's a great point.
And if you fail, so what? You're always going to
It's
be
just
failing
shifting.
forward.
It's shifting the narrative.
Super simple. Your perspective, your point of view, what your point of attraction, what you're bringing to you. What do you want it to feel like? Wow, what a concept. You get to choose. So tomorrow you have this big event and you're very excited. Pam, she's excited.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yes, but you feel that in here, and you're telling yourself a story. Are we going to be able to pull this off? Are the interns going to show up? Is everything going to go correctly? Is the equipment going to work exactly the way we want? You're putting stuff out there that you don't even need to think about.
No,
You just
'cause
want to go, yeah, we're going to do it.
Like every other
and we're
shoot.
going to win. It's going to be a win-win-win.
But I like what you said about the stress versus the excitement. Because what you
Yes.
said to me before, we all work.
We all do. You're always going to have
And
what
light- and
people think is
Things
stress.
happen. But if we change our narrative and say, you know what, I choose to do this. This is my, at least if you're as an entrepreneur and you have this choice and you're growing your own business, and this is the choice you've made, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's different than maybe people that are
In a JOB.
right.
JOB is a totally
and that's
different
great.
ballgame.
It's a totally different situation. But if you choose to leave that JOB and start your career, start as an entrepreneur, there's going to be stress. There's stress in everything. But if we shift that narrative, like you said, wow, this is exciting. Wow, we had Mary Lou Henner on today. Wow, we get to cover this incredible event
Thank
tomorrow to bring
you.
awareness to these 4 amazing organizations.
Really? Now, if you don't think that isn't going to make your blood just swirl and go, yes,
It just raises everything to a whole nother level.
it does. It does. That's the key.
It's even
That's-
worth sweeping
that-
the floor twice today.
Nice job.
We
sweeping
do
the
it
floor. Do it all.
But you have to do it all, and
We
had
all do.
a new intern come in
Agreed.
today, And I was interviewing her with the broom in my hand, and I said, we do it all here. We start, I sweep, I do everything everybody else does. I clean the popcorn machine, we make the coffee, we produce, we bring in. You have to do it all in business, and sometimes you get tired.
Well, yeah, and that's just part of how your brain starts to get used to things. When you get tired, it's because there's either some lag time or you're not as stimulated, so you go in a different fashion. But if there's always that little bit of excitement, that's the juice of life. When things are crazy and you don't know where it's going, up, down, sideways, that's the excitement. But people tell themselves it's stress. Well, every day you wake up, the world is spinning and things are going to go good, things are going to go not so good. But you could say just exactly that. Things are going to go great or not so great.
And maybe it's, there's this classic, what's your why? Why did you get into the business? And I always think there's more to the why. But if you go back to why you started your business, why you became an entrepreneur, why you started, and if you ask most women, they're going to say, for my family. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful answer. Fantastic. But at some point, the narrative maybe shifts to, I did it for my family to bring in income, but now I'm doing this for me. At some point, maybe as your kids grow, as you step into, what do they say, the third act is the best act, right? Is that what they said about Dwayne Wade, right? It's act 3 that counts, whatever act you're in life. Then maybe sometimes that investment is you, your happiness, your excitement, your stress, own it.
Agreed. So then you have to choose.
But it's that slippery slope, right? Where you're now shifting everything.
If you're doing it for you at that point, then that's that next step. That's that up-leveling step of, all right, this is what I want to do. Family is all copacetic. Everything's taken care of. But now I want to grow my business. Now I want to do more. And, that was something that I kind of pride myself on. I bring people on here that are high-level entrepreneurs. They've got their stuff going on, and they've handled it. And it's to bring information to those people that are thinking about starting a business or who are already in business. So it's one of those things where if you're going to up level, you're going to feel stress. You're going to feel, wow, should I do this? Should I not do it? And if it's me, I'm just going to say, go for it.
But what you offer with your show, with the Faith Washington Show, you didn't always have a radio TV show. When we met, you didn't have this at all.
I had no clue.
But it up-leveled your layers in business, right?
It did greatly, and provided, and because I would do this for, I do it for free, but I would simply enjoy the huge network of people that I've created.
But look at the value it's created for you in business. And for your clients, you had this one client you brought in, I want to say from Texas, I don't remember, and he said,
yes,
my business has exploded 100, 200,000%, 30 minutes.
400 times.
You see the value of what you bring to people. There's print media. There's the magazines, and it's great for some businesses. There's TV, which is great. There's radio, which is great. But here, you layer it all. So now you've got print, you've got social media, you've got TV.
Everything.
You've got radio, you've got your apps. And then you've got you as the coaching. So the value of what the Faith Washington Show brings to businesses is like explosive.
Yeah, and the numbers are...
Your numbers are phenomenal.
Pretty stinking amazing for a little half-hour show at 7:30 on a Thursday night.
But think about it. But for a woman in business to do what you do, to have a heavy male demographic at drive time is remarkable. That's almost unheard of. Our demographic, and Freddie's my partner, we're almost 50-50. Maybe we're like 54, 48.
Right.
That's pretty close to 50-50. Becky and Boca's heavy women demographic. Mm-hmm. A lot of our show, we had Serendipity, heavy women demographic. You, as a woman, drive time on a Thursday night, you're heavy men. That's remarkable. You look at business to bridge the gap, the gender gap between men and women in business for what you do. Your value is enormous.
Thank you. I like to think so, Dawn, and I'd love to see more female entrepreneurs on my show. I want them to have that exposure. And I want them to get that hour before the show, because whether anyone likes it or not, that hour before the show, you're going to get some things thrown at you from me, because I can see things. That's why I coach people. That's why I do business consulting, is I see things that other people don't. And you get that.
Maybe they want to call in.
Sure.
What's the number?
Yeah. 888-565 1470. 888-565-1470 if you want to call in tonight, folks.
Well, right. Let's hear from female and women entrepreneurs. Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah. Does somebody have some input that they'd like to share with us so that, maybe there's some clarity here, or, like we were also discussing return on investment. Someone had asked you, well, what's my ROI? Well, your return on your investment. We said, well, one of the cool things is fulfillment. Right? Fulfillment. Maybe you make money from it. You get new clients. You get new business coming into your storefront. You get the exposure. It's like, it's publicity. And you can take this show, and put it on your website. You can cut it into clips and put it on Instagram. You can put it on LinkedIn, my favorite business platform. Okay. Facebook, there's any number of things that you can do with it. And there was one that you said that I thought was fascinating.
ROI. Actually, we had Gem City on last week, and we had Addison Group on, we had Flotate, and we had a Retreat Group on. And I said, happy is an ROI.
Yeah.
And Melanie from Addison said, I am taking that, and that's mine. Because being happy can be your ROI. When I started doing what I'm doing, I had no idea why I wanted to do it, except I wanted to be happy, right?
Yeah.
So I took this leap of faith, no pun intended, and I said, let's go. And it has grown and grown and grown.
It's huge. What you guys do, your show, the Brooklyn Cafe, is huge.
But what we get to do, and when you actually, and we talked about it today, when you close your day and you go to bed at the end of your day, or you sit quietly for a few minutes and you think about what you did at work, whatever your job is. And I thought, wow, what we did 2 days ago, we had a paraplegic on. We had Linda, who you met, who has her service dog, right? Because she can't feel the left side of her body. We had a singer on. All fabulously amazing, successful women. The singer had cataracts. She couldn't drive. Oh. So these two women, a paraplegic and one who drives with hand controls, they both do, take the singer who couldn't drive because of her cataracts and made this network and friendship.
How cool is that? And you're the ones who brought, because of you and Freddie, it brought these women together.
So we bring them on because of this new shoe sponsor of a comfort shoe. And they're going to make a shoe for these women that can't feel the ground, so their feet are protected, so they can zip it, so they can go to the beach, they can go to physical therapy. And at the end of the day, you know what? That ROI was bigger than anything.
That's fulfillment. That's happiness and fulfillment.
To see the smiles on 4 women's faces of the network and said, can we do this again next month? Like, what more can you ask for, right? To see joy in people's face. And that's what it is.
And it is. And one of the wonderful things for me, too, besides the network, but it is having people come in the hour before the show, and we get to have these great conversations. And I've taken people who are so nervous, they didn't even want to go on camera. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was live on Facebook. I'm like, of course it is. And shifted them to the point where they were completely and totally comfortable.
But it's the mindset shift that you do, because you get people out, they breathe. And once you start sharing your story, and we talked about this, about meditating, about taking time for yourself in the morning.
You must.
That goes for men, women, children,
everyone,
parents, beings, whatever it is. And what was the tip? Because maybe you
start your day by caring for you. You can't care for anyone else until you've cared for you. You're number one. Everything shoots out from here, from your heart center. And if you're not taking that time to value you and love you, then other people are not going to get the full benefit of who you really are. Whether you're in business, whether you're on the radio and TV, wherever, no one gets the full benefit unless you are fully you. You are happy, you are centered, and you are not off the wall feeling anxious and crazy throughout your day. And I do that in the morning. That's my thing. I meditate before I do anything else. I like to meditate and read before I walk out the door. And if I don't do it because of extenuating circumstances, I have to do it at some point during the day.
Just take that you time.
I have to have some you time, me time, because without that, I am useless to other people. That's just how it works. That's how it's really set up.
But it's the quiet time. It's not the gym. It's not the running. It's the quiet time.
It's the quiet time. It is that just completely tuning everything else out. It's just sitting there, even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes. 15 minutes to quiet your mind so that you aren't being whipped about by the winds of the world. then you provide impact for the people that you're going to come in touch with. It's really simple.
And life happens, right?
It does, of course
we
it
all
does.
have children and parents and families, and it happens. But if we can control some of it, I think I've become a control freak. I don't know. But I've noticed
doubt that.
But we want to control some of the environment that we can.
Right.
And then our minds just go. But we've totally taken you off
Oh,
track
no,
of your
it's
female entrepreneurs.
No, it's not. It's really not. No, this is like right on point, because this is what I wanted to discuss. Is I want more female entrepreneurs to come on the show. I want them to feel welcome, and this is something else that we discuss. And really, I don't want to discuss this, but I'm going to anyway.
Yeah.
Dawn and Freddie were giving me feedback. They're like, "Well, we think women are intimidated by you," and I'm thinking, I'm like the kindest, most welcoming
And you
person.
You are.
And I am. But I see their point. And, you know, to that, for anybody who's watching, that if you've ever felt that way, there's really no need. But I guess what I really like to make the point about is there's all this talk about women empowerment. And for all of that being said, I see it going sideways. I don't see it escalating to the highest heights that it could. Courage. It's about courage. You have courage and you step through a doorway, whether you fear or whether you don't. And that to me is something that I've had to do my entire life. There's never been a time when I have not had to say, you know what, I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to have to. And then doing it.
But you're being authentic and telling people you've walked the walk, and life hasn't
You
always
bet.
been,
It's not
roses
been-
and rainbows.
Nope. And no unicorns either.
And you come out on the other side and you show up every day. And part of it, and as anyone in business, is you have to show up. If you don't feel well, whatever it is, to the best of your ability,
Right.
you got to show up, and you do every day. And you've got a teenage daughter, and that speaks
Yep.
volumes, just as it is, and a business and your own business, right? You got
Multiple.
out of that job.
Yep. That's been over 3 years ago.
It's when we first met you, and you
Yeah.
had your book coming out, and you've
Yep.
taken it. You talk about like print with your
Yep.
book, and we've layered all of that with you.
And it's stuff I don't even see. I don't even consider me. So I don't say all these things that I've done or accomplished, like best-selling author on Amazon. There's so many things that I have done, and I put that all aside for whoever my guests are.
But you didn't start here.
No.
You started like everybody
Yeah.
else and growing. And that's really the importance of what you do.
Yes.
Because you work with high-level entrepreneurs. You
Right.
work with people in corporate America
Right.
and multi-million-dollar companies. And then you work with people who are just starting in business.
'Cause I
who
love
are
it.
growing a business.
I love that because I know that they can be doing what these other people are doing too. I know that because I believe in them. That's part of, doing the consulting and the coaching, is that you believe so absolutely positively that person sitting across from you can accomplish whatever it is they choose. I know that. I know how to help them get there. It's super simple.
And how do you do that?
You believe in them from my seat, and then you ask them questions, and then you teach them to ask themselves questions, and it gets into their subconscious mind, and then they become courageous. It is about the courage. It is about being the man in the arena. If anybody's ever read Brené Brown, it's just fascinating. She talks about vulnerability, and even though being vulnerable opens you up to yourself and other people, you still got to have courage. You still got to take one step and put it through that doorway. You still have to do that.
Sometimes you just got to put on that badge of courage and say,
That's
I
right.
got this. And
exactly.
Face those fears. We do a show on Fridays, and they said, we're showing up human again. And I asked last week, what does that mean when you show up human? The human's coming out. It's the fear, right? Because spiritually and emotionally, we all are on this high level. And then the human comes out, and it's fear. It's panic. It's, oh, my gosh, what am I going to do when your kids get sick?
Yep.
That fear. And you juggling with the fear and the faith and business and work and a big gig. And you got to get through it, but you got to breathe.
You're right. And that's what that centering or the meditation or that quiet time in the morning, whatever you want to term it, label it, it doesn't matter. But quiet time for yourself in the morning allows you to greet the world with a smile, with happiness, with joy. And I think there's so little of that in the world because people are hurrying to get to the next thing instead of staying very present in the now. If you stay present now and now and now and now, because that's how it works, folks. There is no past and there is no future. It's now. This is the most powerful point in your life, now. And it does make a difference. And that gives you the courage to go on. And if you just simply know that you know that you know, things are always working out for you. Things are always working out for you. As odd as that may sound, things are always working out for you.
And if it's not what you think, there's a reason. It
There's
is
a
what it is,
reason.
right? And there's another diversion or another path.
And it's
But
okay.
You welcome, and before you end, and it's not my show, but I'm going to just say this one
Yeah,
thing.
please.
Faith welcomes all businesses on her show.
Absolutely.
Just reach
anything.
out.
Anything. I can talk about anything. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is.
And don't let that human come out of fear. Just that higher spiritual point. Actually, someone said to me, is Faith always as spiritual as I knew her when she was years ago? And I said, probably even more so.
Yeah.
You know, there's the spiritual side, the faith side, and there is that a whole other side of you. But the business, the entrepreneur, women in business, men in business, that's why you have created this platform,
Yeah.
is to coach them, to bring people forward, and to inspire and say, you know what, you can get to the next level, and whatever that next level is, you can get there too.
Exactly. Absolutely. Where there's a will, there's a way, but you got to have the will. You got to just be able to step up to the plate. I think you can.
Or even just an inkling, right? And make that phone
Yeah.
call to Faith and go, you know what, I would love to know more about your
Yes.
show. I would
Yes.
love to share my story, because everyone has one.
Are you kidding me? Every single human being on this planet that we interact with has a story. No matter how long it is or how short it is, it's a story. And it's a story for them, and it's worth sharing. It's worth bringing people on this show so you can share about your business and how'd you get there? What are your challenges? I'll talk about anything with anybody if they're willing to share, because it makes an impact on our community. That's what's important. That's why I'm here.
And every business has challenges.
Yep.
Every business
Absolutely.
has challenges. So it's not that you have to
Absolutely.
come on here and say, I've got the perfect business and the perfect family. That's not reality.
Nope.
This
No.
is about growth.
That's a
right?
lie. When people say that, it's a lie. Don't you believe
It's a social
it?
media lie. Don't believe that.
Don't believe Facebook. Okay, folks, listen, thank you so much for joining us, Dawn. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
I love you, my friend. I'm so grateful. We're just thankful that you all showed up. So hopefully we'll be here next week. No,
You'll
we
be here
won't
next week.
be.
You can contact Faith
No,
at the Faith
no.
Washington Show.
I'm so messing with you. Yes, we're live here on Facebook. We are live on WWNN, 1470 AM, 95.3 FM, and iHeartRadio app. Thanks, folks. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
You've been listening and watching The Faith Washington Show, where we have widened your view of the world. Our guests share their business, family, and fun life hacks to make your world better. Hope you've learned something to apply to your life and business.
The opinions expressed